Chapter 11. First Spell Search.
Damn, this is so exciting, Chadgri squeals, holding up his metal horns and sticking out his tongue. We'll see if you feel the same way after 3 hours of trying to get all the components correct. In order to cast a critical spell, Janice responds. About this time, they enter the library, and they all go back to the same spot they were in before. Janice begins the next session saying, "All right, guys, let's start by revisiting your breathing. Focus and slow your minds. Allow yourself to fall into the conscious trance state." They both perform the breathing techniques they had previously learned. Then, after a few moments, they both slip into a state of deep focus. "Good," Janice whispers. However, due to their state of enhanced awareness, this whisper seems as loud as a regular speaking voice. Then she whispers, "Now, open your eyes," as she waves her arm slowly, and a gentle breeze of softly glowing air blows through the whole room. "Keep your breath to maintain your focus," Janice calmly guides them. "Use your inner perception to feel the book that is pulling you to it. Hear the voice of its words, and see what your inner mage wants to find within." Both Maira and Chadgri stand there, eyes softly glowing with a piercing gaze. The gaze seems a sort of 1,000-yard stare with a chilling intensity. The gentle wind blowing around them is making their hair wave back and forth as they slowly scan the many shelves in this library. Suddenly, Maira's eyes light up, and her hair begins blowing violently as her eyes reach a certain shelf. She slowly eyes each book, shelf by shelf, until she feels a connection with one specific book. The young mage walks over to the book and picks it up. Then, as soon as she holds the book in her hand, everything stops. She looks down at the book in a sort of puzzled state. Then she glances over to Chadgri, who is on the other end of the library with glowing eyes and wind blowing all about him. He is reaching for a book, and as soon as he picks it up, all goes quiet. First, he too looks down at the book, then over to Maira. "What the?" he half chuckles. "Well done, both of you," Janice applauds. They glance over at her and remember the whole experience as a sort of daydream. Chadgri says. "Pretty strange feeling, right?" he asks Maira. "Yes, quite," she says with a slightly unsettled expression on her face. "Just now, with some additional help from my own spell assist, you two have both located the book that holds your first spell in it," Janice brags. "The next part will fall solely on you," she explains. "Now you must use your own insight to locate which spell you will learn first. When you find it, by way of your insight, you will know it, and then you can begin studying the spell." After this explanation, their trainer pauses briefly to see if either of them appear to be lost. Feeling they are still with her, she continues. "Studying it will include deciphering the words, figuring out the proper enunciation, pronunciation, rhythm, and tonality, as well as the signs you must glyph. Finally, you will have to learn the synchronization, or syncing, required between the chanting and glyphing to catalyze your mana for the spell cast." Again she checks to ensure they understand everything. Convinced that they do, she smiles and says, "Good luck." After this, she gets up and walks out of the library. Maira and Chadgri just stare at each other for a moment. Then Maira looks down at the book and lays it open on the table. Chadgri follows suit, opening his book, and begins skimming through the pages.